Lamont Roach Jr. needs justice. And we could be seeing this on August 16th when we see the rematch against Gervonta Davis. That is the set date that is being looked at, and it looks like hopefully we can see Lamont Roach Jr. get justice for one of the most brutal robberies in boxing history, if I'm being real. I mean, with how corrupt the sport is and everything that's gone on with, that knockdown. I mean, let's be honest here. Lamont needs justice. And I even think Lamont Roach Jr. won the fight without the knockdown. So we need justice here. And August 16th, we look to get that. And I'm excited. I'm excited for this fight. It is a huge fight, this rematch. It's a massive fight. And I reckon it's probably Tank's second biggest fight other than the Ryan Garcia fight, pay-per-view wise. It's big. I reckon this does at least 500,000 pay-per-views. I really do. It's a massive fight. And it's one where a lot of us are going to be behind Lamont Roach because justice needs to be served here. Justice needs to be served. I mean, the way Tank Davis went over to the corner after being jabbed in the eye, took a knee, didn't even get his eye wiped down. He got the top of his head wiped down. Don't bloody forget that. That is what happened. And yeah, it wasn't awarded a knockdown for some reason, for some strange reason. And nothing even happened to Tank. And it shows favoritism in boxing. It shows favoritism. And that needs to be stopped. Lamont Roach Jr. needs to put an end to that on August 16th. That is what needs to happen. Because for something like that to happen, a fighter needs justice for that. And the golden boy in Tank Davis, who, is a very scummy person and bad person, shouldn't be a golden boy. He shouldn't be a golden boy for, PBC. He shouldn't be a golden boy at all in boxing. He shouldn't. And Lamont Roach needs to put that all to sleep. And he needs to put Gervonta Tank Davis to sleep to probably win the fight, if we're being honest with you. He probably needs to put him to sleep. And can Lamont Roach do that? Of course he can. Of course he can. I mean, I honestly feel like we're going to see a faster performance from Lamont. I feel like if Lamont Roach started a bit faster in the first time, he would have definitely convincingly won. I thought he won without the knockdown. I scored at 115-113 Roach. And it would have been even wider if the knockdown was allowed, which, let's be honest, it should have been. I don't think a draw was fair. I really don't, and many people agree. I mean, it's such a strange situation, and it's one of the worst robberies I've actually ever seen. It's not even because of the scorecards, it's the way they went about that knockdown. If that was Lamont Roach Jr. who went down, would that have been given a knockdown? Yes, of course it would have. Of course it would have. And for these kind of things in life, justice has got to be served. Lamont Roach had a moment ripped away from him. He had a moment of becoming the lightweight world champion ripped away from him. Against all of the odds, no one expecting him to move up from featherweight and be able to do that. No one expected that. So people needed to give him his flowers, and that didn't happen. Because, we all know who the real winner was, but in the end, it couldn't happen history-wise and resume-wise. It couldn't happen. Lamont Roach couldn't get his moment in the ring. And Gervonta Davis knows he lost that fight as well. But I'm very, very, very glad that Tank's actually accepted this rematch and I'm also very glad that Lamont Roach Jr. was able to, really take it to Tank. And a big thing is about Lamont getting a result is that we were going to end up seeing Jake Paul versus Eddie Hearn. We were going to see Jake Paul versus Tank. And Lamont luckily put an end to that. So we need to hope that Lamont wins. Otherwise, we are probably still going to end up seeing Jake Paul versus Tank. I mean, my God. I mean, look at the weight difference in that. It'll be an absolute clown show to watch. And look, thank God Lamont put that to an end. But he needs justice for what happened to him. He needs justice for what happened to him. And the appeal, an appeal that was put through, it should have gone through, because there's no explaining what the problem was with the knockdown. There's no explaining. There's no good justification if you look at the rules of the sport. And look, thank God we are getting a rematch. Thank God we are. And I've seen loads of people saying, "Oh, Tank's going to wipe him out in the rematch. It's not going to be compared. Oh yeah, Tank's going to destroy him." No, he's not. No, he's not. Can Tank win? Of course he bloody can. I hope he doesn't. But can Lamont win? Yes. Yes. He won the last one, basically, if we're basing it off the rules. Lamont Roach won the last one. Why can't he win this time? Why can't he fix up his game and win this time? And, have a quicker start this time around and be more convincing. Lamont's one of the best defensive fighters in the sport. His counters are really bloody good. Lamont's got the style to be able to get justice here. Lamont's got a style to be able to get himself justice and gain the whole boxing world some justice as well, and bring some credibility back to the sport of boxing. We can't have Tank win this rematch. We can't. It will be bad for boxing if he wins. And it's because of what happened last time. It's because of the bloody shenanigans that happened last time out. We need Lamont to put the score right. That is what boxing needs. Lamont Roach to put the score right and not to have scums like Gervonta Davis at the top of the sport. So, yeah, simple as that. Well, it's not simple. It's going to be difficult. But again, though, with the boxing judges we got, with the referees we got, it's a tough night for Lamont because he's against everyone. It's a tough night for Lamont in the rematch. And it's probably going to be even tougher because this time is one in the rematch. They literally cannot afford another result apart from a Gervonta Davis win. If Lamont wins, then Tank's in a brutal position in his career. So if anything, this time, even like last time, Lamont was against Tank, the judges, and the referee. This time, he's also against Tank, the judges, and the referee. But this time, I reckon, in the rematch, it could be even worse. And I think Lamont needs a knockout to win. Because they're going to be against him. They can't, these, money-wise, people can't afford for Tank to lose. They can't. But justice must be served. And a lot of us boxing fans believe that justice must be served. And to do that, we need a Lamont win. Look, I even need to see Lamont actually put a schooling on Tank or knock him out. Because if it's close, it's not going to go well for Lamont. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see.